All right, good morning, folks. Welcome back to Kitchen at the Compound. Third recipe, I think, here. So, the first one we did was venison tenderloin, and then we did homemade breakfast sausage. And today I'm going to show you how I make a frittata. If you don't know, frittata is just sort of like a quiche, but it doesn't have the pie crust, so it's more carb friendly for you. So what I've got my mise en place here, which just means you got everything fixed ahead of time. Some chopped or crumbled, however you want to do it, sausage. So this is a sausage from our previous video. Just some spinach just frozen spinach that I thawed out and squeezed all the liquid out of it. Because let me tell you, you got to squeeze your spinach because you don't want runny spinach.
Squeeze your spinach, people.
And some caramelized onions that I did earlier. So I've got my skillet here. Oh, and I forgot the most important part.
Kind of the important part.
Kind of the important part. I got my custard right here, which is a couple of eggs, some egg beaters, which is really just the whites, which is fine with a little color in it, and cheese. And I will tell you this, before I get started or finish up here, I am going to add a little bit of chive, even though we have some caramelized onions we're going to put in here. Some chives will make it good.
Now, why did you crumble it? You crushed it with your fist.
Yes, I did, because if you have dried herbs, if you crush them, then it sort of releases the oils and makes them happy. Or that's what I think anyway. And then the next thing is a secret ingredient, especially when you're using green stuff like spinach. I'm not going to mention the nasty K word. Collard greens, turnip greens.
She's talking about kale. People.
Any kind of green is a little nutmeg, and hey, fresh nutmeg and a little grinder. It's the way to go.
How many people have not ever seen a real nutmeg? You probably just bought the powder stuff, in the grocery aisle. That's just ground nutmeg. Show them what a nutmeg looks like. Well, that was after it's been shaved a bunch of times, but turn it over there. Yeah, it looks like that. It looks like a nut. It's nutmeg. That's real nutmeg, folks.
We don't know who Meg is that got a nut named after her, but she sure is tasty.
And you can smell it. Man, if you had smell-o-vision right now, you would really be able to smell the nutmeg.
Okay, so back to here. Okay, in my skillet, my recipe is normally for like a 12-inch skillet, but I'm trying to make a smaller one today because we had so much left over on that other one. Anyway, so I've got my good stuff here. I'm going to put it in there. Oh, a couple of 3 tablespoons of butter in an oven-proof skillet because we're going to bake this in the oven, and I don't want to use something that's going to melt in the oven because ain't nobody got time to clean that up or buy a new skillet. So, get all the goodness in there. Get it stirred around.
Is there anything better than sausage and onions just cooking in butter? I mean, the smell of that is just incredible.
It is.
And it wakes you up in the morning.
Or bacon.
Well, bacon. Yeah.
Holy smokes. You could do this with bacon too. And your whole house will smell like pork the rest of the day. Oh, by the way, has anybody ever noticed that we love pork, see our flying pig? We're happy to be Gentiles.
So when pigs fly, we have it already, right? So,
Yes.
So we're not waiting on pigs to fly. We have a flying pig.
Yes. All right. So I'm going to kind of smear this around evenly in my skillet right here. I had it on a medium-high heat, but my butter was getting too brown, so I turned it down because this is not a brown butter frittata. All right. And I hope I got enough stuff in there. The point of putting the butter in there, I know all that other stuff had lots of fat in it, but we don't want this thing to stick. It's going to be brown on the bottom, but we don't want it to stick. So. Oh, and this has already got grated up cheese in it too. I didn't.
You mentioned that.
Did I? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just going to pour this over the top.
Well, why don't you talk about, a year ago we had our niece and her husband got married here at our house.
Yes,
and
they did.
they catered. They wanted brunch. It was a morning wedding, and they wanted brunch for their reception.
Yeah.
So we had someone catered that came in, and part of what they fixed was a frittata, and they did it in a sheet pan.
That was amazing. I was so glad to see her do that. She just took this whole sheet pan, not a half, a whole sheet pan. I guess you put butter or something in the bottom of it. She just had her mix, spread it out in there, baked it in the oven, and then just cut it up into little squares, I think, wasn't it? Or
Squares,
like that?
yeah, or rectangles or something. But he cut it out of the pan and served it right out of the pan.
Yeah, and it was really thin. Oh, let's pay attention to what I'm doing right here. See, we want to make sure this thing doesn't stick. So I'm just sort of gliding my, spatula.
That's a very large spatula, by the way.
It is, but it'll be good for getting this out later on. This is, actually, I got this in, this is a Mario Batali spatula. I got it in Delaware. Oh gosh, whenever I was up there working.
If you're an old
15
Food
years
Network
ago.
fan, you probably remember Mario.
So I'm just running this around the edges
Got himself in a little politically correct trouble.
because I want us to be able to get this thing out of here without it sticking, and I have a bad feeling that this is one that's going to stick for some reason. But anyway, so it's kind of set up. See, it's sort of jiggly. It's just slightly jiggly.
Jiggle again. No, the pan. Jiggle again.
Okay, so I'm ready to put this in the oven. So actually, I've got some just for color.
Hungarian style paprika.
I thought this was, until just this morning, I thought this was Hungarian paprika until I actually read the package, and it says Hungarian style, and it says it's from the spice chain in East Brunswick, New Jersey.
So it's
Now-
not from Hungary,
No, is it truly from
but
New
it makes
Jersey?
you hungry.
Is it truly from New Jersey? Who knows? But they got money for packaging it anyway. All right, so I've got my oven on 350 convection. I'm just gonna take this baby and dump her in the oven here.
And you did say the oven temperature?
Yes, 350 convection.
Okay.
And
I wasn't listening, apparently.
apparently not. And we're just gonna let it go till it's not jiggling anymore. And actually, the way to test it, and we'll do this whenever I'm ready to take it out. Oh my gosh! Did you just see my glasses just broken? These are my favorites.
Oh,
Costco.
no.
Oh no. Okay. See what? You take a knife and you put it down in your
Frittata.
frittata and kind of make a tiny
See if
little
it comes out clean.
No, you kind of make a little slice, and if it gets kind of gooey back towards your opening slice, then it needs to bake some more. But if it doesn't, then it's fine. So,
All right.
all right,
Stay tuned.
stay tuned.
Okay, it's been how many minutes?
I honestly don't know. I didn't look at the clock, but I'm going to say about 10 minutes or something. And
It's been at least 10 minutes.
yeah, and this thing looks like it might be ready to test. And by the way, I got another pair of glasses in case
Different pair.
so I can see.
I repaired the other ones.
So they see how lovely that looks. It's a little humpy and bumpy, but we're going to take a knife and stick it in here and see.
You're looking for goo to run
I'm looking
underneath
for
there?
I'm looking for goo to run, and it doesn't appear that goo is running. You
So it
see?
appears pretty solid.
See how solid that is?
And it
So
doesn't
I'm gonna
jiggle.
say it doesn't jiggle.
The pan doesn't jiggle.
No, I might jiggle, but the pan doesn't jiggle. So that is what a completed frittata looks like. Isn't that lovely?
It's beautiful.
Look
I'm
at all
starving.
that.
Let's eat.
All right, well, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run this giant spatula that you made fun of a while ago.
The spatula.
We should tell people that we actually know it's called a spatula, but we pronounce it spatula just because
Because it's fun to say. Spatula is fun to say. And
it's
some
fun to
people
say.
mispronounce it.
Yes, and so that's why it's
Like
just
some
sort of-
people say Mexican bend instead of moccasin bend.
or they say Chattanooga instead of Chattanooga. Anyway, it's just sort of a fun little inside joke. we went to college, we graduated. Even though we might live in Walker County, Georgia, we know how to.
Don't tell people where we live.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good point. Okay,
It's a big county.
it is.
So it's going to slide out perfectly onto a glass platter.
Yes, I just.
So you can
grabbed one of
slice
my-
it like a pizza,
I
or you
just-
can cut it into squares, or you can eat it with a fork right out of the plate, or what?
Whatever floats your boat. But actually, we're gonna need to let this sit for about at least 5 minutes or so. So, even though we tested this and saw that the insides weren't kind of gooey, we do want it to sit and get happy and sort of firm up a little bit, which is what you do if you make a quiche. You still have to let it sit for a little while for it to.
To set good.
Have to let it set for it to set, if that makes any sense. And we're not really it's
Sit
kinda,
for it to set?
Well, I mean, the idea it's sort of like anytime you're cooking meat on the grill or the oven or whatever, you've got carryover cooking time anyway. It's going to continue to, which means if you take something out at 160, it's going to, by the time it, 5-10 minutes later, it's going to be at 165. So that's sort of the same thing. It's sort of carryover cooking, and it's going to set and get luscious and delicious. And this is, honestly, this is a little bit smaller than the one I made on Easter Sunday. But I think it might be a little bit thicker. I'm afraid I might use the same amount of ingredients, just a smaller pan. But here's the recipe called Quarantine Frittata, and we'll put the directions
We'll add it to the description.
somewhere. So if you want to make one, you can make one.
In a couple of minutes, we'll taste.
And we'll taste it. And happy Sunday.
We'll come right back. Okay, so time for tasting. This is my
Time for
favorite
tasting.
part. Whoop, and I got my hand in the way of the
The camera.
Yeah, so.
They'd
Anyway.
rather see your handsome face than your finger.
No,
Anyway.
no, neither one. actually.
Frittata. That's what we want to see.
frittata,
really, right?
frittata. There we go. There's the frittata. There's the plates. And we're going to take a slice and eat.
It's sadly, what you really can't tell is that from the time it came out of the oven till now, it's sort of collapsed a little bit. That's part of the whole setting up process. So it's just not as poofy as it was before. So anyway, so we're going to just dive in here, cut us a nice little wedge. And remember, frittatas are not only for breakfast. They are delicious for supper as well. And see, look at the deliciousness inside there. Can you see that? Ooh, hello.
If you like eggs, if you like quiche, you're going to like this. And real men do eat quiche because I make a fabulous quiche.
Yes, he does. He taught me to make quiche. Oh, and this was sausage, spinach, caramelized onions. I highly recommend caramelized onions in anything, but
Including quiche.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm talking about quiche and frittatas, I'm sorry. But if you don't like sausage, you just use cooked ham. Use tomatoes.
You don't even have to have meat. Yeah.
Yeah,
just
you
use
can be all, you
tomatoes
can do all
and onions and-
vegetables. This dude right here loves mushrooms.
Absolutely. Mushrooms
so
are fabulous. And
Really, it's kind of like a pantry raid. Whatever you got in your pantry, you can just dump it in there, and whatever kind of cheese you got, dump it in there.
it's a good pantry cleaner or fridge cleaner. Just
fridge
clean out your
cleaner,
fridge with
yeah.
all your leftovers and throw it in a frittata.
Yeah, and hey, for supper, if you got a nice little wedge of this is just a little mid-morning, late kind of breakfasty snack for us right now. But
Are we going to eat? Or are we
we're
just
not
going to talk
gonna eat.
about
I'm
it?
sorry.
Come on.
A big wedge with a green salad is delicious. Here, have,
Oh, I
have
get
a
to-
bite, hun. What do you think?
Oh my god. I mean, the caramelized onions make it.
They really do.
The spinach tastes, you get the spinach taste, you get the soft creaminess of the eggs, and
now, remember that.
and the sausage, you get a little bit of heat from the sausage, but I'm telling you, the nutmeg, just a little hint of the nutmeg and the caramelized onions make all the difference.
Right, and one thing you'll notice too, don't be scared of this. This is the underside of it. So the bottom side is going to be, can you see
A little
that?
bit brown.
We'll put it against that yellow dish, it might be easier to see. The bottom side is going to be kind of dark and you may go, it's extra done, but that's what you want.
It doesn't taste that way. It's delicious. All right, so that's it for frittata. Very good.
I'm a happy girl.
All right. Thanks for joining us. And as always, Jesus loves you.
And we're
trying.
Take care.